It looks like LeBouf does have the Observer, so the Burrow will not be able to do too much damage, but it is going to stop LeBouf from being able to use those force fields to really stop the army from coming in. And it looks like great force fields does pinch off a huge chunk of the army, but it looks like Funky isn't paying attention. He's not using his Burrow to go underneath the force fields like he could. And it looks like the first Immortal is out, but oh no! Funky is doing huge damage to the economy of LeBouf, and his... oh no! LeBouf is losing all of his Stalkers and his Sentries. He does have no more Sentries, and it looks like he even lost his Immortal. There's just so many Roaches, I'm not sure if LeBouf can hold on to this. It looks like LeBouf can't really do the damage he needs to do to really take out all these Roaches. They are burrowing and regenerating their health whenever they get too low on health. And Funky just chasing down this last group of Stalkers. Meanwhile, LeBouf is going to be trying to warp in some more stuff, but I'm not sure if he can hold this. And it looks like Funky is being smart. He is doing a few reinforcements, but he is taking his third at the gold. He knows that even if LeBouf is able to hold this, he won't be able to put on any pressure to deny the gold that Funky is taking. Oh no, but it looks like Funky does have a bad rally point. He wasn't paying attention. He is going to lose some of these Roaches. And LeBouf, he is getting a good number of Stalkers, and he is getting his Immortal count up, so I think as time is passing, LeBouf is just getting stronger and stronger, and he will be more and more likely to hold this. LeBouf does see everything that's going on here, and we can see in the worker count, it's actually surprisingly even. It is about 49 or 51 drones to 47 workers. So that does mean that LeBouf isn't too far behind, but as soon as this gold starts getting drones mining at it, it's going to just play such a huge role. And looks like it's also important to note Funky does have his lair attack up, and it looks like LeBouf is really in so much trouble right now. These Roaches are so close. He didn't have any sentries to stop them from coming in, and it looks like these Immortals are doing so much damage right now. This one does have 4 kills, 3 kills, but it's just not enough. The Stalkers are going to try and play cleanup. LeBouf might actually be able to hold this off if he does keep warping in. Funky doesn't seem to have any more reinforcing units coming in, but it just looks like there's just so many Roaches. And even with the Observer to hit the burrow of Roaches, oh no. LeBouf looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Pretty soon, if he gets this robotics facility sniped, he's not going to have any more Immortal production. He's going to be stuck with just Stalkers, and it looks like the Stalkers just aren't enough. Funky finally starting to rally some more units in, and oh no, we can see here LeBouf really just doesn't have anything. He only has these 2 Stalkers being warped in, now pulling the probes in desperation measure, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Purdue University down 1 game as LeBouf GG's. It was a solid game, but I think that LeBouf really did. He did a good job of forcing Funky to create those Roaches, but I think that Funky really was intending to do the Roach pressure anyways. So once he had that huge number of Roaches, LeBouf maybe tried to power his economy a little bit too hard, got a little bit greedy, and Funky just rolled over him with a lot of Roaches. LeBouf did manage to hold off against the first, wave or 2 of aggression, but once he lost those sentries, he lost his ability to really just cut those units in half and force those units to burrow. As you could, if you remember, Funky actually wasn't burrowing his Roaches underneath the force fields when he was getting force fielded. So I really do wish that LeBouf had tried to capitalize on that, but it's fine. It looks like this is going to have a total of 5. It's a best of 5, so Purdue does have a good chance of bringing it back. LeBouf is actually just saying he kind of wishes that, or he did scout that there was no speed, as he saw that there was no gas. He saw that there was a quick lair, and he was a bit surprised that there was a bunch of Roaches coming. So normally, a Protoss player, you'd often see if they suspect a huge Roach or Zergling attack, they'll maybe do a bit more of a wall off. They'll get some cannons behind the wall, and the wall off usually goes from the ramp to the Nexus. But LeBouf felt pretty safe, and just because he didn't really see anything that tipped him off that a bunch of roaches were coming. Although I do think that maybe he should, when he was poking, he did see that there was a pretty decent roach count. But anyways, it looks like Game 2 should be getting started pretty soon. I do believe I did see Murder online, and Easy Does It should be online as well, so we will in fact have that PVT matchup. So it looks like we might actually get to see all the matchups, maybe, if things go well. Actually, oh no, we won't actually have a ZVT. I was going to say we might have everything that wasn't a mirror matchup going on, but looks like that won't quite be happening today. No problem though. So on this map that the next map or game is going to be played on is going to be Murder, not to be confused with Indiana University's VVV Murder. But this is going to be just another player named Murder. He's plays Protoss, and he's going to be playing against Easy Does It from representing Purdue University, and he plays Terran. And this is actually going to be on MLG Shakuris. So Shakuris is generally thought of as a bit more of a macro map in comparison to Zelnaga Caverns. Zelnaga Caverns, because as I talked about before, that natural is really hard to defend, as you could see was going on in that last game. Because it's so hard to defend, you generally see much more aggressive builds rather than just huge macro plays. But, you know, Shakuris Plateau, known as a macro map, if you're familiar with the map, you know that your natural is really just in a great position to defend. You have a ramp to defend your natural. It's in its own little area. It's also not just that, it's actually also the fact that Shakuris is just such a huge map, and even going past the second base, once you take your third, which can sometimes be a little bit hard to decide where to take it, what usually ends up happening is the players kind of split the map down the line, like in the middle, and decide, you know what, okay, so this half of the map is going to be mine, and the rest of it's going to be yours, and I'm going to take all the bases on this half. Meanwhile, they continue to macro, so Shakuris is a great map for that. It's a little bit harder to do on Zelnaga, considering that there are just so many attack paths. It's really hard to position your army in a good place to defend. Whereas Shakuris, you can kind of position your army in the middle of the map. There are some other attack paths, but you know, you have to knock down the destructible rocks to open up those attack paths, and it's just generally a lot easier to play a big macro game. Anyways, it looks like the players are in the game. I assume that we are just going to be waiting on the okay from Easy Does It and Murder, and it looks like Murder is ready to go, waiting on Easy Does It, and okay, it looks like the game's about to get started. So here again, we're going to have Easy Does It versus Murder. Easy Does It representing Purdue University, and Murder representing Southern Illinois University. And this is for the Collegiate Star League. And here we can see, right here, that map is MLG Shakuris, as I was talking about. And you can see here that the natural is in a nice, safely tucked away location. This time it looks like the map or load time won't be quite as slow. Anyways, here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Murder representing Southern Illinois University in the yellow. He's going to be playing Protoss. And in the top right-hand corner, we have Easy Does It representing Purdue University, and he's going to be playing the teal Terran. So Protoss versus Terran is a pretty interesting matchup right now, just because actually in Korea, a lot of both Protoss and Terran, a lot of the professional gamers out there in Korea who, you know, are really considered the best of the best, the tip top, they really, a lot of Protoss are having trouble with the infamous 1-1-1 build, which is where you go for one barracks, one factory, and one starport. And you basically hit the Protoss at a timing where they have a lot of trouble scouting the Terran. And you come out with this mix of a bunch of Marines, a handful of tanks, a handful of Banshees, or a Raven, and it's just really hard to defend against. But you know, generally you don't do it on this map. This map is a little bit harder to do it on because of this ramp right here. Oh, and it looks like they were talking in the chat that it looks like Murder might have forgotten that you can't spawn directly above or below your opponent on this map. So as you can see here, Murder spawned in the bottom left-hand corner. That means his opponent cannot spawn in the top left-hand corner. But you know, we'll forgive him. He does get the scout off. He does see everything that's going on. He does in fact see that there is the gas down from Easy Does It. That generally means that, you know, there could be some early Marauder pressure. That could mean that he's going to go for the 1-1-1 build I was talking about. But I'd be actually a little bit surprised if we did see that 1-1-1 build, as it is a little bit harder to do on Chikuri's just because of the positioning of this natural, where you have this ramp. It's a much more closed-off area. Anyways, interesting play by Murder, deciding to do a little bit of a wall up here. Generally, you actually consider that a bit risky, just because Terran can actually come in. They can snipe it with tanks. They can snipe it with their Marines and Marauders if they decide to put on any early pressure. So usually you see the Protoss players snipe with their gateways and their Cybernetics core and whatnot a little bit further back. Maybe just put a pylon here to warp in any sentries or stalkers and zealots that they need. Murder doing a good job, keeping a really good job of keeping a really good scouting, keeping the Zelnaga watchtower, getting a good scout off. Not sure Easy Does It hasn't actually gotten the full scout off yet. He does get this SCV in, and it looks like he did take one little shot from that Zealot. It's going to actually take 3 shots from the Zealot for SCV to die, and it looks like he's just going to be mining a little bit of minerals, stealing these minerals, saying, you know what, I want an economic advantage, so let's just take these 5 minerals from you. There's going to be 5 less minerals for you. Oh, I'm just kidding, but not actually going to play that significant impact. But looks like this SCV will get away. He will get to return home and play with his fellow SCV brethren and mine back at his home base as a war veteran and, you know, a very respected member of the SCV community. It looks like Murder feeling like looks like he's going to go for 3 gateways. Wouldn't be too surprised if I saw a robotics facility, and there's a robotics facility. 3-gate robo. Pretty, it's a build that's done pretty often, and it looks like, meanwhile, Easy Does It is going to be going for a bit of a more aggressive build. Now, one thing to note was that Murder actually decided to go for 2 Zealots before his first sentry. That is a little bit strange. It's not going to make too much of a difference, although that could mean that he has one less force field than usual. Usually you get the sentry second and it'll have enough energy, so you can imagine this sentry might actually have had enough energy for 2 force fields instead of 1, but it looks like Easy Does It is going to poke up the ramp. There's the force field. It does split up a lot of Easy Does It's units, but it looks like this positioning, this wall up, as I was talking about before, is actually working Easy Does It's favor. These Zealots really just can't get into a good position, and now the force field's down. Oh no, it looks like the sentry didn't have enough energy to really re-force field the ramp, so he is low on energy. All the units get sniped off, and oh no, even the pylon gets sniped off. So now there's only 2 units, oh no, the warp gate was just so close. You can see here is less than a second away. And now Murder is stuck trying to fend off this early pressure without even a single unit. He is going to try and get out a robotic or an immortal, but oh no, you can see here the unit counting station. Oh, Easy Does It is just up 27 SCVs. He has this huge army. Murder likely going to GG soon. It does look like he only has 12 probes left, and Murder sadly saying thought he saw it coming and couldn't defend against it. And there's the GG. So on the bright side, for any Purdue fans, that does look like that it's going to be 1-1 in this best of 5. So it's anyone's game now. It looks like Purdue University could take it back 2-1 or 2-1 in the next game for the 2v2 matchup actually right now. So, but at the same time, Southern Illinois University could do the exact same thing. And you can see here, it's going to be Finstock and Nomi versus Brotos and Doom. So Finstock turns out is actually a Zerg player, while Nomi is in fact a Protoss player. So it's going to be a Zerg and a Protoss versus Brodon